been roped into the group. I came as a facilitator and now I'm a reporter backer. Right? So here we are today.
Do a roll.
MAP has pulled all of those questions into one report. Does that work? Okay. So we're not going to have those subtitles. So we have decided as a working group, and we're going to make sure that this information gets to everyone, and everyone will have a decision at the table once we come back together on July 2nd at Southern Echo at 10 o'clock to 2. And Ms. Vera from PBS, and she won't be a part, is responsible for getting this information out to the group. We started off that. From that, we're going to identify key players, which has already been done by the Parents Campaign with Mr. Barber, but we're going to make sure that we hone in on those key players to make sure that we're holding them accountable and doing what they're supposed to do as it relates to MAEP. We're going to develop a brown paper, which is also called a white paper, we know what we call it, on concerning issues and define how the system was designed to fail, so that we show that this was never an opportunity for us to ever be fully educated through what was given. But we also want to make sure that the messaging that we say in that is correct, so that we're not putting our messages that will come back to harm us in the long run. As well as when we're talking about those policies and information, we make sure to inform the public about the backlash we may get from the other side on those policies, so we become powerful and know how to fight on our end from that side. So we know the language that's coming or was set up to come from this policy being put into place. We also want to develop mechanisms to educate the working group on MAP, because some of the working group members said they weren't as well educated on the process of MAP to go out into the community to educate others. So we first want to make sure that our inner circle is educated well on what MAP is, what it does, what the money is for, and how the money can be used. And then we take that mechanism and go teach the community to go out and teach other communities. In that mechanism, we're going to inform a group ops to collaborate on, to continue informing through email, as Mike is already doing, on new legislation and new findings. And we're going to use our social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and all of those to inform others as well, to bring in the young side of the group, to push them to inform their community as well. We are also going to have the community define what a quality education is made of, like the makeup of it, and how the cost, and what cost it takes to make that happen. So we're all asking for them to fully fund MAP, but some of us said, if we give this money to a specific school district, how will they use it? Will it be used properly? Do they know how to use it? Are you just asking for this because you want more money for whatever it is you're doing? Or do you really have a plan if you get this full funding? After that, we're going to show what the district could look like if you have these funds. So we're going to show, we're going to make a map, almost like Southern Echo does of everything else. And we're going to ask them to come in, I don't know if we said that at the table, to design a system to show how to district succeeds instead of fails. Also, we're going to assess the progress in the leadership within the school districts to determine where the falls and cracks are, to make sure that those people we're putting in these leadership positions are being held accountable, and if we see those that aren't doing well and using the money appropriately, we want to get them out in the right way. We want to identify public wealth and where our tax base is coming from, whether businesses, I use the term harm, but it wasn't the best term, and what I meant by that was, if you don't have enough business in your community to bring in the tax base needed to fund that education, how we promote making more businesses in that community, or in other communities that there are businesses, how we make sure that their tax base goes into education and not into the general fund. We want to deal with or speak on the elephant in the room, and this was the biggest issue that overarches all of this, and that's race and class. And to put it on the table, be plain, and just let them know, y'all dealing with the black folks and not dealing with the white people, and we want to see something. Other than that, we're going to make sure that our messaging is important and must be effective. So the messaging that we put out, we want to make sure that our people understand it and that it is very clear on what we want to happen. After that, we were still talking, and we decided to craft language, push our policies, make sure that we are doing a justice funding and that is equitable across all boards, to understand the charter schools and push all efforts together so that it's more powerful. Any questions?